I am Margarita Estrada, COO of Voyage Consulting and Business Solutions. I'm here with my colleague, Mario Lewis, our CFO. Our CEO, Darlene Blanco, is not present tonight because tomorrow she is an honoree for the 2025 Women of Color Creating Wealth Awards for her work in transforming industries, building generational wealth, and empowering her community. Remember to grow your business with Voyage, ignite your career with Voyage, and to start your voyage today. For value-added content, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Start Your Voyage, and follow us on LinkedIn. As all of you know, tonight's session is pre-recorded due to technical difficulties, but next week we will be back on Facebook Live as usual. Mario, take it away.
Great. I know the focus of tonight's topic is mentorship. What an important topic that is. So imagine the scenario where you have all the top-notch credentials. You've been to the best schools. You then have great work experience. Your references are excellent from notable employers that want to hire you and that have hired you and given you an opportunity. You pick the true firm of your dreams. You're given challenging projects. And then all of a sudden, your career doesn't lead to what you are expecting. You're not getting the results you're looking for. So the expectation is that you were going to have continued career enhancements. The snag is that you're going to have, unfortunately, career stagnation. So you ask yourself, what is the solution? And the solution we're going to talk about today is mentorship. And we're going to talk about the impact that mentorship can have, and it will have, on your career when done effectively and when done correctly. So I want to discuss with you, Margarita, just asking you a couple quick questions. How would you define a mentor?
I define a mentor as someone who is more experienced, who has already been where you have walked. And because of that, they're able to give you advice, particularly if you're just beginning your career. They're able to guide you exactly as to what you need to do in the organizational setting that you happen to be in. And they're also interested in the personal growth of the mentee.
I think that definition is spot on. I couldn't have said it better myself. So how would you define that? Like, we now know what a mentor is. So the process, how would you define what mentorship is?
So mentorship is the influence that the mentor has to the mentee and the direction that they are given. So a mentor takes a look at what is the experience of the mentee, whether no experience, some experience, or fully experienced. And based on that, they come together and they work out a plan as to where the mentee needs to go. The issue here is that it is important to understand that the mentee is the one that drives this relationship.
Yeah, that's an important. So let's talk about some research. Now, there's some research that we have related to mentorship. So let's talk about Harvard Business Review. What leading publication? What have they said? They say 75% of executives credit their success to mentors. That's a significant amount. Furthermore, 90% of employees with a career mentor are happy at work. And I know that's a topic we talk about all the time, career satisfaction and how it drives growth and progress and development. And there's another study based on Cygnus that 70% of women credit their success to mentorship. And that's a very important statistic because you can see the demographics are shifting, where you're seeing a lot more women leaders and the need for women to have mentorship to close some of those gender gaps. So you can see how important mentorship is. So I want you to help me unpack. But what are some of the attributes of mentorship that are important for us to consider? I think there are about 5 or 6 of them we should be able to go through. Please, Margarita, go ahead.
So, right, for example, right now we have many graduates coming straight out of college. They are inexperienced in the business world or in whatever field they are going into, especially right now with the development of AI and how AI is influencing every single field imaginable. They need to be able to develop those communication skills that are necessary with the implementation of AI to make sure that they keep updated. They can also benefit mentees as far as growing their professional network, and particularly when they are just beginning their career. It is extremely important that they grow their network and also overcoming those obstacles, right? When you are a beginner in a particular field and you don't know all the ins and outs yet as to what to do, a mentor can help a mentee look at what are the possible obstacles that they are going to encounter.
Yeah.
So Mario, go ahead and let us know and any others that you
I
have
want to
thought of.
unpack. I want to unpack some of the ones you've highlighted before. The ones I think that have been very critical. I think all three we've identified so far, and we'll continue on. So the communication skills you and I know as being professional speakers, having mentors in the field of professional speaking, and you can talk about a lot of the great speakers that we've encountered on our travels and journeys. Without their mentorship, we wouldn't be here where we are. So you can see how critical, especially when this difficult, challenging skill of speaking is, how important mentors, having a mentor or multiple mentors is to help you round out your game when it comes to being a great speaker. And then building your professional network. I can't tell you how many great mentors I've had who've been kind enough to share their professional network with me, especially when I was starting. I didn't have any connections, kid coming out of college, who helped me build my network based upon their network. So both senior as well as their other mentees that they supported to help me just fulfill that. And then helping you to be able to look around the corner at some of the challenges you're facing, some of the journeys that they've been on, that you're going to go on, that they've helped you navigate those items. But in addition to that, I think just being able to help you find new developmental opportunities is just very helpful. Again, when you're new starting your career, you don't know what all the tools that you need, especially based on your career choice. And a good mentee who's often in your space, in your area of development, they can help you find ways that you're going to grow and continue to build your skill set. And then remember we talked about leadership. A big part of what we do is communication and help mentor leaders. They already been there. They've had leadership roles. They can help you create your own personal style of leadership based on what they've observed and what they've discussed with you. And the last, I'd say, helping you develop a broader perspective, not just for your career, but for your life. Being able to give you that lens upon which to look at not just your family life, your career life, and all other dimensions of your life. So when you take all of those things, I mean, that's really impactful how a mentor can shape you as you are developing in your career.
Yeah, and the one that I found, I'm sorry, Mario, I didn't
I was
even.
saying, when you say Marguerite.
Okay, so the key one for me in as
Yeah.
far as all of these steps that we have spoken about is developing a broader perspective, because when you're beginning a career, you're basically green, right? You know
Yep.
nothing about your field. Perhaps you might have worked part-time while you were in college and so on, but you still don't know everything. And so developing a broader perspective and being able to develop your own leadership style is very important, and that comes over time. So I would say that those are the once you develop the beginning steps, that will be the natural occurrence where you develop your own leadership style, and it will bring a broader perspective as well.
Wow, I'm enjoying the conversation so far. So I want to take a moment to remind everybody, it's important that you grow your business, ignite your career. But I think it's important that you can do it with a great partner in mind. So I suggest that you grow your business with Voyage. You get your next steps and ignite your career with Voyage. And I think that now is the right time to do it. So start your Voyage today. So if you've been enjoying this content, please follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, at Start Your Voyage, and follow us on LinkedIn, where you'll find a lot of our value-added content. So, Margaret, I want to hand it over to you for the next part of our discussions. What are now that we've talked about how important it is for mentorship, we've defined what it is, we've gone through a number of the benefits of what a mentor can do. What are the steps? What are the critical pathways in helping you to find a mentor? If you can help me define that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, this is the fun part. This is where we're going to have a good time, right? Because now that we know what a mentor is, what a mentorship is, and what mentorship can do for both the mentor and the mentee, well, how do you go about finding that mentor? How do you go about finding that special person that is going to align with your values? So I would say that step one would be to define your goals and your vision. Before you connect with a mentor, you have to be clear as to what your goals and your vision are, because based on that communication, based on you taking the time to say, okay, where do I see myself a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, then you are able to go into step two, which is your research. So I read an interesting book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point. And
Yep,
he
great book.
talks, right? It's a fantastic book. And he talks about three different types of people that should be in your life: the maven, the connector, and the salesman. Now, the
Okay.
maven is there just to provide you with some information, right? They're there strictly for information. However, mavens lead you to connectors.
Mm.
And once they lead you to those connectors, then you have to have somebody to convince your potential employers or your potential managers in the future that you are the one. In other words, the salesmen are the ones that communicate with the higher ups. They're the ones that talk about you. So I'd like you, Mario, to talk about that as well. Have you had mavens, connectors, and salesmen in your life that have helped you in your career?
Yeah, I especially have had all three of those. So you've had people who are, like you said, the way you describe mavens, those are people who are kind of start you off early. They give you information about where you can go, and they're there for informational purposes. And those people are critical because at that point in your career, you don't really have any depth, you don't have any background, but you're hungry and you have energy, so you're just looking out for opportunities, and they will point you in the right direction. And when they point you to a correct connector, because remember, you have a lot, the relationship is on you to go start hunting for these opportunities. So once they have introduced you to a connector, that's when the fun really begins, because that person helps you to expand your network. They help you to find other people. And what's important is that having the right maven in your field, in your area of interest, will help you find connectors in your area of interest. And that is where your network starts to explode. And at that point, once you have a broad network, the salespeople really come into play. Those are often people who can become sponsors, people who can advocate for you, whether it be for the next promotion, the next opportunity, whether it be advocating for that next job at a different company. Those people can help sell all the good things about you because they're the ones talking good things about you when you are not in the room. And that role is critical. So it's kind of like it's I would say it's like as you're sleeping, they're still working because they're advocating for you, and which aligns with your famous approach, the advocate for you approach. So
Yeah, it's building a reputation, right?
yeah.
Because as you start to define your goals and vision
Mhm.
and you put together your research, slowly but surely you're beginning to build a reputation. And once people know your reputation
Mhm.
as someone who is truly committed to their career,
Yep.
trust me when I tell you, the salesman will be out there speaking about you, speaking about your efficiency, your effectiveness on the job, and the value that you bring.
Yeah.
So we come to step three: asking a mentor for an interview. And this is extremely important. You have to be clear your goals and visions. And once you have done your research, then you have to realize that this person, this mentor that is going to change your life is taking time, their precious time, to be with you and to help you advancing your career. So that means that you cannot waste their time. So be ready for that interview. So Mario, could you expand on that? How can mentees be ready for a future interview with a mentor?
Absolutely. And this is a very critical question, Margarita. It's like basically the how of being a mentee. And the key things, like you said, you have to be mindful of their time because they're offering their time. And their time is valuable because they could be mentoring multiple people. And you don't want them to make a choice that you become one of the people on the cutting block because you're wasting their time. So how do you do that? By being efficient. So you set up targeted meetings, identify early on what are your objectives for each time that you meet. You are then you're also providing them with information as well because you want it to be as much of a two-way street as possible, whether they're anticipating meeting with you because they're getting fun, they're enjoying the mentorship relationship, but they're getting something insightful or intellectual out of it. So I often suggest sending them articles in between meetings. Here's what I'm thinking about, asking them pointed questions, and being kind and careful with their time because it is valuable. And also giving them feedback. One of the best things, I had mentees who gave me feedback as well on how things were going, giving them regular updates, sharing success stories, sometimes even sharing challenges so they can help you to go through. So they become invested in the relationship. To just the same way you will nurture and support relationships that are important to you, you should treat this mentor-mentee relationship with that level of significance. Treat it as an enduring, significant, important relationship, and it will truly bear fruit for you.
Yeah, and the key is that you're going to have many interviews with different mentors throughout your career.
Absolutely.
So you have to, it is important to look at how do you feel with this person?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable with this person? Do you feel that you can trust this person?
Yeah.
Your intuition never lies.
Yep. Have you ever had to, Margaret, have you ever had to make tough decisions around a mentee or a mentor relationship where
Oh, yes. Many, many times in my life, I've had to uh, make tough decisions and decide, well, this person is not really the one that can guide me in the direction that I need to go. I need to go elsewhere. It's happened more often than once, but I think it's important not to give up. Because during this journey in finding a mentor, first there is a sense of fear within you and that feeling that, who would want to mentor me? Well, why wouldn't they want to mentor you?
Exactly.
Right? Why wouldn't they want to? You come with ideas, you come with desire to succeed, and you come with a new perspective that no one has ever seen before. Remember that you also deserve to be in the room where it happens, right? Like they say in Hamilton.
Absolutely.
Right? You deserve to be in the room where it happens.
Why not you is the question. Yep.
Right? So it's how you learn how to take up space and how the positivity that you bring to that space when you go to go on an interview with your mentor. And once they see that sense that honesty and that integrity that you have, uh, keep looking. You'll find that mentor that is right for you.
Awesome. That sounds like, so I'll offer like, what are some closing words on giving our audience some advice on the next steps, no matter what stage in their career or what would you offer as the last piece of advice on how to approach mentorship, finding mentors, and no matter what stage they're in?
I would say to have an open heart. It's not easy for us to trust people in general. Most of the time, people a little bit leery about opening up their heart to someone and saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is where I want to go. Is it possible that you can help me? And rather than say, is it possible, you can say, could you please help me? Or you could say, and ideally, when you go on the interview with your mentor, find out a little bit more about them. When you do your research, find out some of the accomplishments that they have done in their career and see if those accomplishments align with yours. Because that would be the ticket for you to get in and start building a relationship.
Great. I think that is wonderful advice for our audience. And I'm totally subscribed to that. And I've lived it, and I still continue to work and living at it. I think now is a good time to end. I want to wrap up everyone tonight. I want to thank you for joining us on this program on this important topic of mentorship. Thank you, Margarita, for driving a lot of the content on this tonight. I love the way you expressed the significance of mentorship, and I'm sure our audience gained a tremendous amount from it. But I want to remind our audience again, it's important that you grow your business with Voyage. Start your voice today, especially when it comes to igniting your career and doing all of the value-added things that you want to accomplish in your life, livelihood, and lifestyle. So if you've enjoyed this content from this program, because I know I have, follow us on Facebook, subscribe on our YouTube channel, follow us on LinkedIn, and find us at Start Your Voyage. With that, I want to thank you for joining tonight on the Ask the Experts series. Look forward to joining you live again next week.
Good night. See you all. We continue this conversation next week. Bye-bye now.
Take care.